The thing about this time of year is that there are so many new releases and I want to see pretty much every one of them. Jumanji's just come out, but at the time of recording I haven't seen that, but it is at the top of my list. But the films that I've seen recently in terms of cinema releases are pretty interesting, I think. So we'll start with the one that I was most looking forward to. This is Murder on the Orient Express. I love Olivia Colman, I love Johnny Depp, I love Kenneth Branagh. I was bouncing with excitement for this one. I wasn't let down. I thought the acting was great. It had a very nostalgic feel to it. I was worried it would be too modernised. The other thing that really impressed me with this is that it wasn't completely set inside of a train. A lot of the times when you get adaptations of Murder on the Orient Express, the camera does not leave the train. But we have some external shots as well, and kind of a lovely scenic imagery as well, and it just adds to it. It makes it feel a little less claustrophobic and a little more cinematic, and I think that's something Kenneth Branagh excels with. The story obviously is not down to the film, it's an adaptation of Christie's novel. I was not satisfied with who the killer was, if I can say it like that, but obviously that's not the film's fault, but that is my opinion on how the story concludes. Start to finish, I absolutely loved it. I know some people have had issues with it, but honestly, it was everything I hoped it would be. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the next two together. I know films should be looked at individually, but I'm not the only person who's comparing these two. A Bad Mom's Christmas and Daddy's Home 2. I loved both of the first films for those. Very excited to see the sequels. Kind of disappointed, though it's neither film's fault, that they basically have the same story. That the parents, the mothers in A Bad Mom's Christmas and the fathers in Daddy's Home 2 visit their families. So it's kind of the same, and it's all about how they get along, and I think the difference though is that they have very different vibes. With A Bad Mom's Christmas, it's all about the mothers, or I guess the grandmothers, letting loose, bonding with their daughters, very funny, a lot of alcohols, being drunk. Daddy's Home 2 is more about the father-son relationship, or grandfather-father relationship, and I love Will Ferrell. So that was definitely my favourite if I had to pick a favourite out of the two. But I think out of Bad Moms and Daddy's Home, the originals, I also think Daddy's Home was my favourite. Both very festive, very fun. Daddy's Home 2 is a lot more family friendly. I recommend both of them, but out of the two, definitely Daddy's Home. I can't speak. Two left, and as a DC fan, I was definitely looking forward to Justice League. I liked it more than most people did. Maybe I'm biased because I just love Batman. I am Batman. I love him. So I was automatically going to like that. I absolutely adore Amy Adams. So there were a lot of aspects about the film itself that I was automatically going to appreciate. However, I loved the cinematography. There were so many amazing shots that made me think, wow. And it's not that it's completely innovative. There are shots that I've seen before, angles that work in other films, but it was amazing from watching in terms of cinematography and enjoying it as a cinematic experience. The only thing that I didn't like, and it's not the film's fault as such, it's more my experience with DC, is that the narrative was very complex, mainly because you have all these different character perspectives. So it's something that I would have to watch several times to fully immerse myself in and to fully get everything out of it. Will I watch it again? Eventually. You know, years down the line, but I'm not going to watch it as soon as it's out on DVD or anything. I did enjoy it. Need to watch it again to get the full benefit. Liked it more than most. I am Batman. With the last one, I still don't know how I feel. This is Suburbicon, and I hadn't really heard of this one until I saw a giant poster for it advertising on the Underground. Saw that Julianne Moore was in it, absolutely love her, so I knew I absolutely had to see it, and I wasn't disappointed. It was good. But it's not what I expected, and there is a slight issue with it, or something that I feel is an issue. If you haven't heard of it, which wouldn't surprise me, it hasn't been really well advertised, at least in my view. It's about this idyllic little, suburban street or little suburbia, and everything's peaceful until this black family move in across the road, and then suddenly this white family find themselves being robbed, and then something else happens and everything goes horrifically wrong for them. But then there is a twist with one of the characters, and it's a twist that IMDb reveal in their plot description, but I kind of feel like going into it without knowing that first could have been a bit more interesting, so I won't spoil it. So basically it's about how this family try to get through this, but with a twist. But also about how this black family across the road have brought in this negativity. I feel like they underplayed that quite a lot. So I don't think, it felt like more of a subplot that didn't work. Like they were trying to add padding to it. But the actual twist element, which as I said isn't really a twist because IMDb talk about it in the description straight away, is very good and very captivating. And the ending I thought was exactly what I hoped it would be. I was really worried that it would go off in one direction and I wouldn't be happy with it, but it went where I hoped it would. So I was kind of satisfied with it, but not very satisfied with the plot or the way the two stories kind of connected together. They really underplayed quite a lot of it. They could have done a lot more with it, but it will make you think, if nothing else. So the last 6 weeks or so have been kind of good in terms of films. Obviously with Christmas time we have a lot of comedies like Daddy's Home 2 and Bad Moms Christmas. Really looking forward to Jumanji and Pitch Perfect 3. They're the next two on my to watch list. And then of course we're so close to 2018, which is the month, the year in which Ocean's 8 is released. You know, Helena Bonham Carter and Sandra Bullock and Cate Blanchett, and Anne Hathaway, I cannot wait. I'm really excited for that. Do let me know in the comments which films you're looking forward to in the coming year, and I'll speak to you all soon.